Will the Yeti on Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom ever be fixed? Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, opened in 2006. And when it opened, it was so epic. The amazing mountain structure, the thrilling coaster, and of course, that unbelievable animatronic Yeti. It was so very cool. Unlike so many of the new attractions Disney is opening today, Expedition Everest was not based on an existing IP. It was an amazing custom creation directly from Walt Disney Imagineering. And still today, Expedition Everest is one of my favorite attractions at Disney. It's hard to believe it's been around for so long, this amazing creation back from the early 2000s. In my life at that time, I was a college student and I had applied to be in the Disney College program. I got in and I wanted to work in rides, but there was no openings at that time, so I did custodial work. I didn't know which park I was going to be assigned at, but I think I was able to write with my preferences, and I was really hoping and praying that I could work at Animal Kingdom because that's where the new ride Expedition Everest was. Well, the door opened for me to work at Animal Kingdom, and I was so excited. I had so much fun that summer. I got to walk around the park, Animal Kingdom, all day long, sweeping, enjoying the atmosphere, and of course, enjoying Expedition Everest. Sadly, just a few months after the ride opened, the animatronic Yeti, the grand finale of the whole ride, this incredible, impressive animatronic, had some kind of mechanical problems, and it's been shut down to this day. Now we just have Disco Yeti. To me, it seems that Disney has very intentionally built the Expedition Everest experience so that the animatronic Yeti is the grand finale. As guests approach the mountain, even from afar, they're given this message that inside that mountain is this Yeti. Then as guests wait in the queue line, they see hints of this Yeti. In the museum section, they see a huge footprint of the Yeti. Going up the lift hill, there's that painting above guests of the Yeti. I love in the middle section of the ride where they see the projection, the shadow of the Yeti. We're getting closer and closer to this Yeti, but it all builds up to when we actually get to see that furry beast, that amazing animatronic. And to me, that's why it's such a bummer, such a letdown that the Yeti is now just static. So could we ever see this Yeti fixed? It's been down now for so many years, and there was rumors that perhaps when Pandora opened, that area would attract so many crowds that there could be an opportunity to shut down Expedition Everest and make this fix. And Everest was shut down a little bit ago for some refurbishment, but the Yeti was not improved. So after all this time, could anything drive Disney to make a change? It's interesting to hear Joe Rohde a little while back explain some of the complexities of the Yeti problem.
You have to understand, it's a giant, complicated machine sitting on top of like a 46-foot tall tower in the middle of a finished building. So, it's really hard to fix, but we are working on it. And we continue to work on it. We have tried several things. None of them quite get to the key turning of the 40-foot tower inside of a finished building, but we are working on it, and I personally, kind of bulldog this one in a way that doesn't always make me popular, but I will fix the Yeti someday, I swear.
So, with Joe Rohde now retired from Imagineering, unfortunately, it seems hard for me to imagine that Disney would go back and fix the Yeti. It seems like they would have done it by now if they were going to. But I'm still optimistic. The only motivation I can think of is simply that Disney cares so much about details. Maybe they could solve this problem. Recently, Disney updated the snake animatronic in the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland. I know that's a far different issue with probably much less complexity and expense associated with it. But maybe Disney would one day, just for the sake of quality, update this animatronic. Now, if simply updating the existing Yeti animatronic would be too cost prohibitive for Disney to do, would there be some outside-of-the-box solutions that Disney could potentially think through? For example, what if they scrapped the existing Yeti and built it from the ground up Perhaps since the ride opened in 2006, there's been advances in animatronic technology that would allow for lighter weight animatronics, perhaps that wouldn't cause foundational issues that maybe the existing animatronic does cause. Or think about this would be a little bit of a stretch, but if actually getting into the mountain to fix this Yeti is going to be so hard, so expensive to do, what if they took the brake run at the very end of the ride after, as you just exit the mountain, and they extend the mountain to be a little bit longer to cover over that section, and they built a whole new area where a new animatronic could live. So this would mean totally removing the existing animatronic, creating a new scene at the end of the ride as guests are coming into that brake run. Maybe they could build a whole scene around that area where this new animatronic, which would have a whole new structure, a new foundation it's built upon, would then come near guests. And maybe this would be an opportunity, since guests are slowed down in that area, for the animatronic to have a little more time with guests. Maybe it could kind of come out of the darkness. Maybe the animatronic could be on some track, so it actually moves out from the shadows towards the guests and can kind of be ferocious, and guests can actually appreciate the complexity of the animatronic a little bit longer before the train is then dispatched into the unload area. That would be a different setup. And because sometimes trains might stack up and there may be a train stop there for a long period of time, it may require rethinking that scene. I think of the roller coaster Mystic Timbers at Kings Island. It has a little show scene at the very end of its ride before it goes into the station. And because it does get stacked up there in that last scene, depending on how long it takes for the train in front of it to dispatch from the station, it has a setup so it can wait there stationary until the train has left, and that's when the main show scene kicks in. So maybe the Everest animatronic could have some kind of creative rethink solution like that. And if that would mean there'd be a strange gap where the current animatronic sits as guests are flying through that tunnel in the mountain, maybe there could be some projection of the shadow of the Yeti kind of swinging from vines or something before guests would see the actual animatronic in that last brake run section. It's just a crazy idea. Just want to think, is there any way we could ever see a cool animatronic again? Maybe if that happened, it would be a fun little boost in park attendance. It's not a major new attraction, but it would be a new update, and maybe there could be some marketing or branding wrapped around that, some celebration. Maybe it could be for the attraction's 20th year anniversary or something like that, to make guests come back and see this new update on Expedition Everest. Those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. What are your ideas? Could we ever see that Yeti reimagined and brought back to life? I would love that. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much. Please feel free to subscribe or like the video. That helps so much. God bless. Have a great day.